If bedtime feels harder than it should, the problem may not be your child's personality, your patience, or one missing trick. It may be that the real bedtime battle started too late.
First, well name the mistake, starting bedtime when your child is already out of fuel. Then well look at why tired children often look more energetic, emotional, or defiant, not sleepier. Next, well build the earlier wind down that makes the final 10 minutes easier. After that, well make room for connection without letting every request reopen the whole routine. Finally, well turn it into a realistic reset you can try this week.
Most parents think bedtime starts when they say, okay, time for bed. But for a child, bedtime starts much earlier. It starts when the house begins to change speed, when choices get smaller, when screens and rough play stop, and when the brain gets enough cues to believe the day is ending.
The mistake is treating bedtime like a finish line. Dinner is done, homework is done, the parent is exhausted, and now the child is expected to instantly brush teeth, separate, lie still, stop asking questions, and fall asleep. That is a huge emotional task at the worst possible moment.
Picture a parent who has been patient all day. The child asks for one more snack, one more story, one more hug, one more bathroom trip. The parent hears delay tactics. The child may be feeling something messier. Tired, wired, worried, and not quite ready to let go.
So the better question is not, how do I make my child obey faster at bedtime? The better question is, what does my child need before bedtime so the final step is smaller? That question changes the whole evening.
Adults often imagine a tired child as droopy and quiet. Sometimes that happens. But many children get louder, sillier, clingier, or more explosive when they are overtired. Their body is asking for rest, while their behavior looks like they are campaigning against it.
Bedtime asks for a lot of regulation. A child has to stop doing something interesting, tolerate limits, separate from a parent, manage darkness or quiet, and stay in bed with their own thoughts. When the tank is empty, every one of those steps can feel bigger.
Late bedtime also creates decision overload. Which pajamas? Which book? Another drink? Door open or closed? The more choices that survive into the final minutes, the more chances there are for bargaining, disappointment, and a parent's voice getting sharper than they wanted.
Some requests really are stalling, but not every delay is manipulation. Sometimes one more hug means connection. Sometimes I'm thirsty means discomfort. Sometimes don't leave means the child has not yet shifted from daytime attachment to nighttime independence. If this already sounds like your house, save this for tonight and share it with a parent who thinks bedtime is a willpower problem. Sometimes the better fix is timing, not more pressure.
The fix is not making the routine fancy. It is moving the hardest parts earlier. If teeth, pajamas, bathroom, water, and one small choice happen before your child is completely spent, the final stretch becomes quieter because fewer jobs are left.
A predictable sequence helps because children do not have to keep asking what comes next. It can be as plain as wash, pajamas, teeth, book, bed. The power is not in perfection. The power is that the order becomes familiar enough to feel safe. The hour before sleep does not need to become silent and magical, but it should stop sending the message that the night is still open for business. Bright screens, wild games, big negotiations, and exciting surprises can make a tired brain work harder to slow down.
Connection belongs inside the routine, not outside it as a reward for delaying. A few minutes of reading, a calm question about the day, a song, or a predictable goodnight phrase can give your child closeness before the boundary arrives.
The most stressful boundaries are the ones invented while everyone is tired. Decide earlier what is included. How many books, whether there is water, what happens after lights out, and how you will respond if your child comes out again.
Children often resist less when they have a little control inside a firm structure. Blue pajamas or green pajamas works better than, please get ready now, repeated 10 times. The parent controls the routine. The child gets small, safe choices within it.
After lights out, long explanations can accidentally become entertainment. A short, kind, repeatable phrase is often stronger. It's sleep time. I'll check on you soon. The goal is not coldness. The goal is making the boundary boring enough to hold.
And keep perspective. If your child snores loudly, seems to stop breathing, has intense anxiety, persistent insomnia, pain, or daytime sleepiness that worries you, that is not a discipline puzzle. That is a reason to talk with a pediatrician.
For the next few nights, do not overhaul everything. Start the wind down 15 minutes earlier than usual. Not bedtime itself necessarily, but the shift toward bedtime. Dimmer lights, calmer play, fewer choices, and the same first step every night.
Choose 3 anchors you can actually repeat. Maybe it is teeth, book, bed, maybe bath, pajamas, song. Keep it so simple that a tired parent can remember it and a tired child can predict it.
If your child always asks for water, make water part of the routine.
If they always need one more hug, build in the goodnight hug before the final phrase. You are not giving in. You are removing predictable excuses before they become a contest.
The first nights may not be smooth. That does not mean the reset failed. Children often test whether a new routine is real. Stay calm, keep the sequence small, and measure progress by less chaos over time, not by one perfect bedtime.
So here is the payoff. The mistake is not caring too much about bedtime. It is waiting until the most exhausted part of the night to ask for the most cooperation. Move the work earlier, keep the sequence predictable, offer small choices, protect connection, and make the final boundary short and calm.
If you want more practical parenting breakdowns that reduce guilt and make daily family life easier, subscribe and come back for the next one.
Tonight, try making bedtime smaller before it has to be final. A calmer evening often begins before anyone says, "It's time for bed."